That would be an interesting teardown, wouldn't it? What's up, everybody? Today we're going to do a teardown of this cash register. It's made by Hujin Sveda. Actually, Sveda means pain in Swedish. That's a bit funny. Let's see if we can turn it on first, before we take it apart. I have this wire connected to it. Yes, it's actually kind of turns on. Got a lot of 8s here on the display. So as here you can see the display, it's a VFD display or vacuum fluorescent display. And we got this part here that you can write on. And this is here, the recipe comes out here. That's a bit interesting. Maybe also some of these buttons work. Yeah. This actually does something. But I can't write anything. If I would look on the actual buttons, you can see a lot of words in Swedish. Öl is beer, cider is cider, and we got content, which is cash. And what we got more? Check, credit, you know what that is. Kvittering, that's acknowledgement. And receipt feed, you know what that is. Varurabatt. Flaskretur. Flaskretur is when you give back the bottle of beer, and it has this, we call it pant. It has flaskretur, you get a little penny back or something. But it's interesting, we got a lot of Swedish words. You can actually change this. You can open a little lid, like that, and actually change these papers in it. Put whatever you want in your own language. That's a bit smart. This is a pretty old cash register. The actual cash box I didn't find it in the dumpster. You can see here there's a bodgy wiring. It's supposed to be a switch here, but I actually connected this alligator clip, otherwise I can't turn it on. And actually on the top here you can add another display, like a little tower with a display on it. So it's optional, you can do that if you want. And this is how it looks on the back. Nothing special, we got a vacuum fluorescent display here as well. Here's some information. Made in Japan. Pretty nice. Let's see what we got inside. There's not so much in it. Mostly empty space. It has a key switch here. I don't have the key, so maybe I can hack that. Can we do something like this, maybe? Short them together. Not so much happened. Let's disconnect the connector here instead. Shorting them together. Does it do anything? No, nothing. Nothing happens. Let's unplug it so I don't do anything stupid. Now we can lift this keyboard out. Has some slots. Disconnecting the ribbon cables. Yes, look at that, I soldered them directly on the circuit board there. They're going down somewhere here. Yes, these as well. But I have connectors here instead. Let's disconnect. We got our little battery pack. That looks pretty nice. We got a main chipset here, and it looks like some kind of EEPROM. And what is batteries? It's surprisingly they haven't leaked. Expired the previous year, 2018. Surprised that they haven't leaked. There are two different brands. This is a Duracell, this is a Varta. I will not be using this cash register anyway, so I take the risk and unplug these batteries. Now all the memory are gone. That's a pretty thick ribbon cable going into the printer. Just unplug it like that. Yes, here's a circuit board. These are pretty interesting, look at those. Looks like Zener diodes, floating Zener diodes. There's another one here. Special, I've never seen something like that before. Very special component. Good design, not even a bodge wire. Let's remove the displays. They're connected on this little circuit board here. This is connectors, I think. Are they? Yes. The angled connectors. And there we can see the main transformer. Here we go. Oh, look at that. There's a huge nipple here. Well made. There's another one of those in the front here. I'll remove that one as well. Yes, this have the wires directly soldered to it. Yes, still the same thing. Where's the rectifier? That's a little clever what I've done here. You got the AC from the transformer going down here on the circuit board. You got these fuses here and the full bridge rectifier, and it goes back to this capacitor here. So in that way you skip this big filtering capacitor, smoothing capacitor on this circuit board, and can get out with some smaller capacitors. That was a clever idea. And that's a transformer, 40 volt amp, 15.6 volts, 100 to 240 volts in. So it has a lot of taps, this transformer. Good capacitor, Nippon Chemicon, 35 volts, 22,000 microfarad. Here's a view from the back. We got this power connector here. That's where that goes to that switch that didn't exist. And those two wires here goes up to the transformer. There's a selector switch, and this is a fuse. And what are these? Just hanging loose here. These are the rolls. These rolls of paper that you print out the recipe on. You just throw them in there like that. So they used this cash register as a litter bin. Let's have a look on this printing mechanism now and see how it's made. You can see the actual heads in here. And this, I think, is used regular ink. See, this looks like regular ink they're using. It's not this heat printing rubbish that I use today. On the bottom side we can see the hand-drawn lines. Look at that. Very special. And this roll just unrolled itself. Just pick it out like that and throw it in the bin. Yes, let's take it apart a little bit more. So yes, now most of the unnecessary parts are removed and you're left with the interesting stuff. Yes, this is amazing stuff. Look at this. We used to put a lot of ink on this roller here. That made these numbers wet with ink. And the actual recipe paper would go through this. And you can see in here, we got a bunch of solenoids. There are a row on the back here as well, but we can't see it. See, maybe kind of inside there. You can see there's another row of solenoids. In total, there are 10 solenoids per section. There are 2 sections here. And there are 10 numbers. And we've got some symbols there as well. So it actually turns on and off these solenoids when the actual recipe paper is rolling. And you can get your desired number or maybe symbols on it if you want to, depending on which solenoid you turn on. I don't think we got any letters. Maybe there are some letters, but I can't see any. No, there are no letters on this. No letters. So we just got like numbers and some symbols. Let's lift it off. Here we got our numbers. Yes, and in here we can see those small arms that are controlled by these solenoids. Let's move this next section. And here we can see the solenoids. Look at that. Isn't that nice? They made it work back then. Must be very advanced at its time. Pretty special shape on that. There's a lot of engineering that it had gone into this. They've even put this little plastic thing here to actually make it sound less, like a shock absorber. Very beautifully made. Sadly, this is what happened to the cash register now. There's a big pile of junk at the moment. But it was quite an interesting teardown. I've never opened one of these parts before, one of these printers. So yes, hope you found this video interesting. Thanks for watching.